Jay Calderon Boxing on YouTube. Magic Man, you heard it from the Magic Man.
What's up, y'all? It's Jay Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment, and we're about to get into this week's boxing talk. This Saturday, May 20th, it's a big day of boxing. First, early boxing on Showtime. It will be defending IBF junior lightweight champion Gervonta Tank Davis traveling over to the UK to take on undefeated contender Walsh. This is a very good, intriguing matchup between two young fighters that are undefeated in the junior lightweight division, and they're going to put on a very good performance. I believe that this is a good test for Gervonta Davis because Walsh is a very good fighter. He's undefeated. He's fighting in his backyard of London, England, and it's going to be a very good show on hand. And this kid, Gervonta Davis, is only 22 years old. He is a very talented fighter with quick hand speed and also explosive punching power. And I believe that he's going to have a very good fight on his hands. But I see him as the victor coming out in this fight because I just see him dominating Walsh down the stretch in the second half of this fight. I believe he will take control with his good boxing skills, his body punching, and his quick hands to land those crisp, hard punching power shots that he lands so accurately when he's in that ring. We saw in his last performance against Jose Pedraza, he put on a fantastic display of speed and power, and he was able to overwhelm the more seasoned fighter and knock him out. And I believe this is what's gonna happen in this fight right here. Walsh, like I said, he's a good fighter, a solid fighter. I believe he's gonna do well in the beginning of the rounds, but then towards the second half of the fight, I look for Gervonta Davis to really come on strong and show that physical strength that he has and blast him out of there and win by knockout victory. That's my predictions on that fight right there. Now moving along over to the United States later on that evening on Showtime, the main event of the evening is going to be Gary Russell Jr. making his return to the ring to defend his WBC featherweight title at 126 pounds for the second time. He's going up against tough, durable Colombian Oscar Escandon. Escandon is a very tough fighter with a tremendous heart, but I just don't see him being able to deal with the super talented, very fast Gary Russell Jr. Gary Russell Jr. has incredible hand speed, he has good punching power, and he has skills. This guy has only looked really bad in his entire career only once, and that was against Vasily Lomachenko. He's been calling out Lomachenko, wanting that rematch badly, and he says he's willing to move up to the 130-pound division to test Lomachenko once again. But that fight right now, I don't see it happening anytime soon. I think Gary Russell is just chasing a man that's far beyond him, that's about to move up to the lightweight division and take on the big challenges in that division. So Gary Russell needs to focus on the featherweight division and stop talking about Lomachenko. This man that he has in front of him is going to put up a good, tough fight. But at the end of the day, I see Gary Russell as basically dominating this fight. He might be able to stop this fight in the later rounds, but I see this fight possibly going 12 rounds with Gary Russell Jr. winning a unanimous 12-round decision victory. Also on that undercard, you're going to have the return of Andre Dirrell and tries to continue to get his career back on track. He needs a big victory in this fight. If he's able to look good in this fight, I look for bigger and better fights down the road. His career hasn't been the same ever since the fight against Arthur Abraham. You know, he hasn't looked that good in his recent bouts. The fight that he had against James DeGale, he was dropped and he lost that fight for the world title. Can he get back to the status that he once held? He's a very talented fighter with hand speed and also good boxing skills, decent punching power. The Dirrell brothers are still a factor in the super middleweight division. I would love to see a fight between him and WBO champion Gilberto Ramirez. That's a very good, intriguing fight that I would love to see, but that fight between those two is possibly unlikely to ever happen. And also on that card, you have Cuban sensation Ranches Bartholomew. That's a very good, talented fighter right there from Cuba. He looks to start his campaign in the junior welterweight division and hopefully march to a world title. He'll probably face one of the guys that holds an interim title before he even gets his hands on guys like Julius Ndongo or even a guy like Terrence Crawford. He's just going to have to wait until his opportunity knocks. But I wish him all the best this weekend. Now, moving along over to HBO in Madison Square Garden, New York City, you're going to have the WBO and WBC 140-pound junior welterweight kingpin Terrence "Bud" Crawford making his title defense against a very skillful, talented Olympic gold medalist from the Dominican Republic and Felix Diaz Jr. This is an intriguing matchup, but it's a matchup where I feel that Terrence Crawford is just too big for a guy like Felix Diaz. Diaz has campaigned at welterweight and junior welterweight. He's a very highly skillful fighter. He has tremendous boxing skills, very good ring IQ. He's a tough competitor. He has decent power and he has good hand speed. But I don't see him coming out with the victory in this fight. I believe he'll put up a good fight against Terrence Crawford, but Crawford is a very, very smart, intelligent fighter, a super talented fighter with good hand speed. He likes to box, he likes to mix it up, land some big power shots. I believe he will systematically break down Felix Diaz in the second half of this fight, and I think that it would just be too much for Felix Diaz, the size factor. Crawford is a bigger guy, and I believe he's going to impose that will that he has and break this man down and perhaps stop Felix Diaz in this fight right here and look spectacular the way he's been looking as of late, because Terrence Crawford is looked upon as one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And I said this before time and time again. I think that he could definitely become pound-for-pound the #1 best fighter in the world down the road. Right now, there's a lot of guys shooting for that #1 spot. I still see that spot as vacant. Right now, no one has really grasped that #1 title yet. I see Andre Ward as the closest out of anybody else to really take that #1 spot. But I see Terrence Crawford right there within the top 5 fighting for that #1 spot. And I believe after this fight, he's looking for a title unification match to clear out the division. And that's Julius Ndongo, who's going to be ringside for this fight. And they're saying that they're looking to negotiate once this fight is complete between Felix Diaz and Terrence Crawford so that they could be able to get a matchup later on this year. Now, I know there's some roadblocks in between this fight because of the mandatories that Julius Ndongo has right now, but I see that that's not really a problem. We've seen before where guys get paid sidestep money to step aside so that they could be able to make a big match like this possible. And Bob Arum is looking to really make this fight possible between Crawford and Ndongo. And that's a matchup that fight fans would love to see because Ndongo presents a very tall, rangy fighter with very good boxing skills and good punching power. He's had 2 big back-to-back victories, and we would love to see Terrence Crawford against this man. And then after that, if Terrence Crawford is successful and unifies all 4 titles in the junior welterweight division, we would love to see him move up to the welterweight class of 147 pounds to take on the big top dogs in that division. Guys like Keith Thurman and Manny Pacquiao, which many fans have been calling for him to fight the Pac-Man, but that fight doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. So why not fight some of Al Heyman's other stable fighters, because this is going to be the second fighter that Terrence Crawford has fought from the Al Heyman stable. And we would love to see him against one of the other bigger names that are out there. Errol Spence Jr. is another fighter that comes to mind if he's able to get past Kell Brooks and guys like Sean Porter as well. Terrence Crawford, pound for pound, one of the best fighters in the world. I wish him the best. I see him victorious, most likely late round stoppage against Felix Diaz. That's my predictions. That's my take on the fights that are going to be taking place this weekend. So tune in for your local listings to find out what time these fights start in your area. I would like to thank everyone for tuning in to my YouTube channel, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that little red subscribe button. Put your email information in so you get all my notifications every time I drop a new video. Also, follow me on Instagram and follow me on Twitter at J. Calderon Boxing. And also join the Facebook boxing group page, J. Calderon Boxing Talk. I'm J. Calderon, Stand Clear Entertainment. Thanks for your support. Keep watching and please subscribe.